What's up, YouTube? This is Morgan, also known as Jew, and for the past 2 weeks, I have done my NFL predictions before the week that's upcoming, going through my insights on what I think is going to happen during games, on who I think takes it. And for the past 2 weeks, I have gone 10-6. I am trying to see if at some point this season I can go 16-0, but won't know unless we try. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so for tonight's matchup, for the Thursday night matchup, we are going to have the Colts and Broncos. Jonathan Taylor has already been ruled out with an ankle injury, his first missed game since, I believe, middle school, which I think is a huge factor for them, but also Matt Ryan is top 4 in passing yards this season. But I think against a stellar Broncos defense and a Colts defense that has been wishy-washy for the entire season, I think the Broncos are close. Russell Wilson showed signs of life last game, but he wasn't great. Russell Wilson hasn't been great all season, and I still think the Broncos are just stronger than the Colts in this matchup, so I think that they take it. The next matchup that is on the thing is going to be the London game. It's going to be Packers-Giants. I think that I think Saquon showing signs of life is huge for them, and I think that's what's causing them to have a much better season than years past, also with Brian Daboll being their head coach. But I think the Packers are just much stronger than the Giants, and I think that Aaron Rodgers will be much more prepared for this game than anybody on the Giants will. There really isn't much to say. It's a Packers-Giants matchup. What else would you expect? So Lions-Patriots, and now this one hurts my soul because obviously the Patriots' defense is really, really good. Or not really, really good, but they're better than the Lions. The Lions have the number 1 scoring offense in the league, but also the number 32nd scoring defense. They allow the most points. They average 35 points a game scoring and then average 40 points a game given up. So and they also have a number 1 rushing attack, which is very nice to see. Even with DeAndre Swift out, Jamal Williams has taken that role very, very well this season. Even when DeAndre Swift was playing, he also played very, very well. And I believe Mac Jones is questionable for this game. He's still limping at practice, which isn't a good sign for him. I think if they have Bailey Zappi playing, I don't think that the Patriots win. If Mac Jones plays, then I think the Patriots win. That's all it really depends on is who the quarterback is. So I'll just put it at that. If it's Mac Jones, it's the Patriots. If it's Bailey Zappi, it's the Lions. That's how I'm going to put it. I know I'm making this too far in advance to know before who the quarterback is. So that's how a prediction is going to go. Chargers, Browns. I'm going to do the Chargers. I think that the Browns got shut down by a Falcons team, which shouldn't have shut them down at all. And the Chargers have a much better defense than the Falcons did. And having Jacoby Brissett won't move them very far forward in this. So that's what I have to say about that game. So next is going to be the Texans and Jaguars. The Jaguars have looked like a very stellar team, and they put up a very good fight against Philadelphia. The Texans have shown that they have signs of life, but they're not good. That's the best way to really put it. They're just not good. So I just think the Jaguars take it relatively easily. Falcons, Bucks. Do I have to say anything about that? Really? It's Falcons, Bucks. Buccaneers take it easy. I know you there's more insight. Marcus Mariota has had a very solid season, but Cordero Patterson is injured for at least 4 weeks. He's on the IR, and that hurts the Falcons' attack very, very much. They don't use Kyle Pitts at all. And Drake London has had a good season, but their offense just isn't good without Cordero. I'll say that. Their offense is better with Cordero. Steelers, Bills. This is going to be Kenny Pickett's first start as a quarterback, which is rough because it's against the Bills. So I think the Bills murder the Steelers. They've shown signs of weakness in the past few games, but they've also played against the Dolphins and Ravens, which are 2 very solid teams. So they really... Yeah, that's really what I got to say about that. I think Bills murder them. Jets, Dolphins. So this game will not have Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback because they are finally sitting him after all these concussions, which, thank God, he needs it. I I hope he gets better. That's just really how to put it. Um, and the Dolphins' defense has shown signs of weakness, very much so. I just think the Jets. I think with Teddy Bridgewater not getting Jalen Waddle involved as much, I think that the Jets somehow sneak a win here, especially with it being at home. I just think the Jets have played a lot better. Played a lot better with Zach Wilson last week, rather than Joe Flacco. Come on, man. I don't really know what else to say to that. Bears, Vikings, 1 o'clock game. Kirk Cousins, he's going to go off for 350 yards and like 3 touchdowns because it's a 1 o'clock game. Against the Bears, who only run the ball, yeah, they're going off. Titans, Commanders. I think the Titans take this. I think last week was just a rough game for them. Oh, no, they won. Never mind. It wasn't a rough game for them. It was good for them. Never mind. I was confusing them with the Colts. Yeah, no, they have a really good rushing attack, Commanders, without Chase Young. Their interior defensive line is not as good anymore, which leaves the running game open, like very open, and they're a very run-heavy team with a not proven quarterback. Yeah. Seahawks and Saints is the last of the 1 o'clock games. Geno Smith, I apologize for what I said in the last video. Geno Smith has been phenomenal this season. He's a 77% completion percentage so far this year. And the Seahawks are, I believe, 2-2. That's huge. That's incredible. Yeah, and the Saints look better with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton played a phenomenal game as well. And he was really what gave them signs of life in that London game last week. But I think the Saints defense carries them more than the Seahawks offense can provide. I think the Saints win. So, Panthers 49ers. I think Baker Mayfield has a QBR of 15 point something this season. That's horrendous. He shouldn't even be playing football at that point. And then the 49ers just came off beating the Rams. The 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo looked just like a much more competent unit than they did with Trey Lance anyway. Probably that comes down to experience with Jimmy Garoppolo. Also with Jimmy Garoppolo, like playing in San Francisco, rather than just his experience overall. But I think that's the difference maker for them this season, which elevates them. It also elevates the play of Debo. All right, Eagles, Cardinals. It's not a double XP weekend. Kyler should have a solid game, but I think the Eagles are just really good this year. I don't think this is their year. I think they're just off to a hot start. And I still think they take this one. But yeah, I don't think that they can beat the Eagles. The Eagles have just played so well this season. All right, last of the 425s, Cowboys, Rams. Cooper Rush has been a phenomenal quarterback this year, and I think he can be in the running for the starting job if Dak wasn't making as much money. That's the way to put it. If he wasn't making as much money as he is, then Cooper Rush could be the starting quarterback for the rest of the year. Dan Quinn's defense has shown that he can lead phenomenal defense, as well as the playmakers that they have. The Rams have struggled a lot this year, and they're just missing that piece at wide receiver. I mean, losing Robert Woods and OBJ, they lost 2 of their core receivers from last year. So, they were interchangeable. They didn't play at the same time, but they still had another piece, and it's just Cooper Kupp. And yeah, Cooper Kupp last game had 14 receptions. He's averaging less than 8 yards, 9 yards a catch, which isn't bad, but you can't only throw it to one guy. Whether it looks like that or not, you can't only throw it to one guy. I think the Cowboys defense carries them more than the Rams, so I think the Cowboys beat the Rams. All right, primetime game is going to be Bengals-Ravens. Ravens have blown... So they blew the game against the Bills, they blew the game against the Dolphins, and I feel like there was one more lead they blew or something like that. Oh, no, it was just 2 in 3 weeks. That's just what it was. But no, the Ravens are blowing leads. Bengals have looked very rough to start the year. Even though they beat the Dolphins, they've just looked really, really rough. And I'm high on Lamar Jackson this year. I think he's proving everybody wrong. So I think the Ravens take it. I don't think it's easy. I think it's an entertaining game to watch. Considering last year that the Bengals torched the Ravens in the second game, I think that the Ravens try to get revenge and just blow them up. Last game of the day, or last game of the week is going to be Raiders Chiefs on Monday Night Football. The Chiefs, even without Tyreek Hill, I think not having Tyreek Hill unlocked so much more in this system. They didn't have just this one speed demon and then Travis Kelce. Like, yeah, they have Travis Kelce, but they also have a lot more receiving options. Whether they aren't as talented as Tyreek Hill or not, I think it just opened a lot more in the system, and it allowed Patrick Mahomes to just be a more complete quarterback, I guess, in the sense of the words. And he's playing absolutely phenomenal this year and looking like an MVP candidate. So I think the Chiefs and the Raiders have looked awful. Absolutely awful. Like, yeah, they got their first win against a very struggling Broncos team, but they just look horrendous this year. And I think the secondary is going to get torched. Travis Kelce always torches the Raiders, I think, maybe. Or maybe I was confusing with Tyreek Hill. One of them always torched the Raiders. I'm pretty sure it was Tyreek Hill now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, well. But Patrick Mahomes torches the Raiders. That's the key part. So that's all I got to really say about that, I guess. So with that said, that's going to be the end of this video. If sports content in general interests you, please subscribe. If you want me to keep doing these NFL predictions, please please comment, say something about it. I'm not going to ask post notifications on. I try to post when I can at this point. I'm trying to make it daily, but I'm trying to make it when I can right now. But yeah, so I'm going to be out. Peace.